Hello, this is George Sandmann. I'm the founder and CEO of Growth Drive. And Growth Drive is a system used by business advisors to drive client profits, growth, and value. Now, we're also a community. Every week we get together to talk about all things business advisor, everything clients, cases, things we're seeing out in the world. Now, tune in here to this podcast, and you can join the conversation by scanning this QR code, passcode 867-5309. Jump into the conversation. Everyone's welcome. We're looking forward to having you. So here we go. On with the show.
Morning, Aaron.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Great.
Awesome. I just, Mike, I just talked to somebody down in your neck of the woods, Miami.
Okay.
Where are you again?
No, I'm about, excuse me, I'm about 30 miles north. I'm in Lighthouse Point, just south of Boca, but I used to work in Miami.
Got it. I knew you were down in Southeast Florida. I just didn't know what town. So
yeah,
very nice.
George.
There he is.
Who did you speak to Miami, by the way, if I may ask?
Yeah, it's a really interesting conversation. I'm glad George joined us. It's a fintech company. He's a former estate planning attorney who just created a methodology for extracting all the tribal knowledge from the organization and documenting it using questionnaires and AI to organize all that and get it all. He and I had a great I got introduced by somebody. He and I had a great conversation. I like him a lot. Very smart. I haven't seen the product, the output yet, and what it looks like, but it looks very promising and could be valuable to all of us in this community. So,
Yeah.
I know a lot of estate planning attorneys down there.
his name is Matt Gruber.
I don't know, Matt.
Yeah.
But, yeah, well, makes sense, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to explore it and get a little deeper in it. And once I see all of that, I'll come back to everyone. Obviously, he's interested in the EPI community too, and obviously, as a chapter leader, I know all the other chapter leader. There's a possibility for him to populate through that whole organization. But I think Growth Drive would be a great place for that to live as well. So
awesome. So he's focusing on
first, I gotta peel the onion a little bit to understand what's there. So
he's focusing on estate planning. Is that correct?
No, he sold his estate. He and his dad had an estate planning business. His dad died suddenly, and it hurt the value of the practice. And so he had first world experience of dealing with an exit that didn't go so well. And then he built up an estate planning practice himself. He exited it well because he had built all of this in paper form, in normal sort of manual basis. And then he exited it to go put this into a technology base. And so he's been building out that technology base. And again, that's why I want to see it. We had a fantastic conversation, really good conversation about AI and transfer of knowledge and how do you capture all this? But I didn't actually see what the output looks like and how detailed is it and is it useful? And I certainly haven't heard pricing yet or any of that. So,
well, I'm looking forward to hearing more. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool, great concept. And obviously as a estate planning attorney, he understands the value. And I asked him at first when I read I was getting introduced to him, so I looked him up beforehand, and I'm reading it, and I'm going, boy, why am I getting introduced to my competitor? Because his website looks like he's an exit planner, but really they're not doing any of the work of the exit planner. They're doing this capturing of the tribal knowledge.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Hey, Teresa,
You know, it's so funny. I was just thinking about you yesterday while I was traveling. Teresa, it's great to see you.
Yeah.
How are
My
you?
summer's good. I had a nice summer sabbatical and back to work. So glad to be here.
Back to work. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
I hope you did something funny while you were out or away. Yeah,
I did. I
cool.
just got back. Thank you.
Isn't this our weekly sabbatical?
It is, yes, sabbatical from reality.
So morning sabbatical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's on everyone's mind?
So I got a something to throw out there because I've been approached by a law firm down here, pretty large one, and they're interested in. They do a lot of, well, they do transactional work, right, for M&A transactions, but they do estate planning. They do all kinds of legal work, right, and they're very active in our in our in our community down there in terms of exit planning, right? So, so we had a business owner event at their facility about a month ago, and all you as an advisor, if you went there, you had to bring one or two business owners in order to get in, and they had a panel discussion about, you know, preparing your business for sale and what it looks like, talking about your exit options. So they have 4 or 5 panelists. It was a great event. But they approached me afterwards, the one of the major partners there, who's in charge of their business division and also their marketing guy, and they said, you know, Mike, we like to know how, because I explained to them kind of what I do, right? You know, to me, exit planning is kind of on a continuum. If you look at that value acceleration, and I think Eric knows and anyone who's a CEPA knows what I'm talking about, right? There's 3 different phases: there's discovery, there's execution, and then there's decide, right? So I told them that I kind of work, you know, the discussions that they usually have in these meetings are about, you're going to market and let's get ready for a transaction. It's always at the back end. It's always at the transactional level, right? And I told them, and they understand that I get involved. I like to get involved 5 years out, you know, 5 years from that event, 3 to 5 years, because there's a lot of things that can be done to make the business more valuable. And in addition to doing those things, I mean, sorry about that. From a legal, there's a lot of work to be done by a lot of the professionals in that first phase.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of work for lawyers, accountants, coaches. There's a lot of work up there, and also through that, you know, that phase where you implement. And so they said to me, you know, how do we get involved? How do you see us getting involved at the beginning, like at your stage? How do we get involved at that point? And they started. They threw this at me. And they said, "Well,
Can I just throw in a wisecrack? Talk to your customer."
okay."
Yeah.
So they said, "Well, how do we get involved? How do you think we can get involved at the beginning of the process, not at the transactional?" Because, you know, they said to me that, you know, when they get involved, when it becomes near to being a transaction, that's when all the ugly stuff surfaces, and it's kind of too late. You know, they try to put band-aids on things and they try to fix things, but if they were involved 5 years earlier, we could have done something, right? So they suggested, and I've been thinking about this, and I thought, and I was trying to get a hold of Vince Mastrovito, right? Because he was I know him from EPI, and I know him from one of our groups, George.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought that would it be possible to form some kind of mastermind group that was just for business owners, that spoke to them about, you know, preparing your business or planning for your, I'm using the word, I'm not necessarily going to use these phrases, but maybe I will. Preparing for your eventual exit. It will happen. It's going to happen. And
Yeah.
maybe this is a group that business owners can join, where they're you know, kind of like a Vistage format, right? You have a speaker come in, they talk about some aspect of it, and then there's a discussion amongst the members about, you know, what they think and what they may do. And then at those meetings, right, this law firm, and maybe me, we would kind of chair it. Okay. We kind of run it. So, and they have a facility in their law practice building, which would host this event. So maybe that's a way for them to start becoming known at the very beginning, like, okay, you're talking to us about this. I'm going to your building. I see your law firm. You're there. So that was something that was running through my head. I just, maybe I didn't articulate it well,
You
but,
did.
and
You
then,
did.
and then the other thing they mentioned to me is, this is not charity, right? So perhaps you charge, I don't know, a monthly amount, $200 a month, $300 a month to be a member. Or something like, which is much cheaper than Vistage. Or Vistage is at least, I don't know, it could be 15,000 more a year. And I've been in Vistage for years, and I know that Vistage, the topics they talk about they're all over the place. They could be about sales and marketing, they could be about AI, they could be, it's all over. This would be focused solely on increasing the transferable value or planning for, or what to do and, for your your eventual exit. So it'd be more narrowly focused and cheaper than like a Vistage group.
If the firm wants to expand its reach and relevance,
I apologize for
that. No, that was awesome. If the firm wants to expand their reach and relevance, there's an analogy here, and this is analogous to wealth advisors, right? Wealth advisors, a business attorney has a set of skills that in general terms, sort of gets more and more relevant as we get closer to the transaction. And if they want to be relevant to the business community, to their business clients, throughout the client's journey, right, which is the important one, then doing this is huge. And Tim, I know I just jumped all over to Tim runs CEO groups. Tim, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, there's clearly, I think there's clearly a sort of a joint interest there. There's going to be people that are interested in doing that. It's a question of having a moderator or somebody to coordinate that CEO group or groups for the law firm, depending on how many people they want. But there are models out there that you could turn to, like I moderate a group for LX Counsel, and they're half the time of Vistage, probably half the price, and they're focused already on strategic growth. That they don't profess the growth drive methodology, but they're already there for that purpose. So it could be that putting your law firm, or maybe you making contact with, do you know Tina Corner-Stoltz, the founder of LX Counsel? She's in Florida. She's in
Tampa.
St. Pete.
And in St. Pete, right? But there's already moderators down there that I'm sure would be happy to lead a group for that purpose. I think the people pay between $750 and $1,000 a month for membership, so it's a little more than what you're talking about. But there's a great framework already there to make sure those meetings are productive.
Yeah, Michael, I think the key here would be, if you're going to do it based on growth and the idea of preparing for exit, the key will be putting in a structure, putting in a curriculum that will keep them in, because it's easy to say everything's about growth, and so you go all over the place. I'd humbly suggest to you there might be like some training at the start, like the first 6 meetings or the first 3 meetings are, hey, let's go through what the growth drive methodology is, and let's talk about this. And then after you get through, or they watch the C3D or another set of videos, George, right? Something that they could, there's an exercise to get them in the same methodology, and then you use that methodology as part of your meet. Okay, so we're going to be focusing today on, question 3 in the run your, cash flow part. Here's what we're going to be focusing on, what things are coming up with, right? You're going to have to bring it in. Otherwise, I'm in an LX Counsel group. Tim is a moderator. I'm in one. I spoke to that group, but when you're in it, you're bringing whatever is the subject of the day up. You know, it could
It's
be
not structured around a method.
yeah, it's not tight enough to have the conversation you and the attorney want to have, Mike. Right?
Are you, Mike,
Imagine a
focused
group.
on primarily, are you focused, Mike, on primarily delivering the growth drive process and framework? Is that what you're thinking about over time?
Yeah, I would say yes, because the 24 growth objectives, if you go through them, there's a lot to talk about there. And not only that, implementing and becoming proficient and doing the right things in those 24 growth objectives produces a lot of work for a lot of people.
And it gets the client where they need to be, right? Ultimately, right?
At the end of the day, they increase transferable value, and and I like to use the phrase you want to be always exit ready, because you never know when you get that unsolicited offer and it looks real good, but you haven't straightened up your room yet.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody to walk
Imagine
away.
a group. Gosh, I mean, imagine a group that has the group accountability, right, and is committed to individually and collectively increasing their strategic capacity, and that
Right.
becomes the measure of success.
And then the other thing too, George, you have to make sure, because I've seen this in Vistage groups, you got to make sure you don't have competitors in the group. So you got to make
Yes.
sure you have,
Yeah, because people won't talk freely, Mike. You're
Correct.
right.
You
People
gotta have-
people aren't going to let their hair down if they've got their direct competitor or even a tangential competitor sitting in the room.
And so, so you got to make sure you have a diverse set of owners, right? Different industries, so they don't feel threatened, and they're not divulging anything. But of course, everyone promises that everything said is kept in strict confidence. But some people, even with that, don't feel comfortable with it. I'm just throwing this around. I think if I see a lot of, when I go through these 24 objectives and people start doing the Clarity 2 assessments and you really start digging deep, there's so much work in there for a lot of folks. I mean, especially and the attorneys know, because they've said to me, look, we come across issues when we get brought in, and unfortunately we get brought in within 12 months of a transaction, but we find problems with their employment contracts, their contracts with their customers, all kinds of legal problems that haven't been taken care of. And now we're running around trying to put Band-Aids on these things. Whereas if we were doing this as part of a long-term process, and especially starting from the very beginning, we can get involved and we could take care of this stuff. And also, we'll also get clients from it as well, right? So it's a win-win-win.
There's an absolute aspect of both of growth. I think Growth Drive addresses this. I think EPI addresses this, of looking at the preparation as almost preparatory due diligence, right? So
Yes.
rather than waiting to do due diligence after you've signed an LOI, and that's when all the skeletons come out of the closet, why don't we do due diligence 5 years beforehand, find out what the skeletons are and get rid of some of them, right? Right? And so if you just think simplistically about it, and again, we're all more sophisticated in this, but I'm thinking how we deliver this to the client. If we help the client understand this is the walkthrough on your house before we put it on the market, instead of having everybody walk through the house and go, well, that's crappy, I'm not buying this place, right? You just wasted the time and energy of the realtor, but now you also posted the house, and maybe it needed to be posted 20 grand lower, and that hurts the value of the house. Like you just hurt your value of your house, right? And the same is happening to your business.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate the input there.
Yeah.
I love the idea, Mike.
Yeah, I absolutely love the idea. And I just threw a prompt so that I don't forget to do it when I go dashing out the door here shortly.
Who is Claire?
Claire is our you can find her in the community. Claire is our OpenAI generative AI agent. We nicknamed her Claire, but she is fully trained on our entire methodology process. She has an addition, in addition to my book, she has over 300,000 words of resources that she crunches on. She has access to everything, and but she also has access to the world. And so this prompt, I don't know if this is the perfect prompt, but the first thing I might do is clean up the prompt by telling Claire, hey, clean up this prompt. But what it does, and it's terrific. But you might ask her, and you could also throw the same prompt into Claude, but you just got to point Claude and directly at the growth drive methodology and process. And it's not about me, but you might want to list my name because a lot of this stuff is published under my name. But man, I'd be fascinated to see what Claire comes up with.
How do I get to Claire? This in Circle.
Yeah, there's a link in Circle. There's a link in Circle. Just type in Claire in the search bar. In fact, I'll test my theory right now, Mike. Here we go. Coffee Klatsch, search Claire.
Mike, thanks for saying it out loud, because usually George won't bring up his girlfriend's name on the call because Sydney gets jealous.
Into the search bar, you'll get the link to access.
It's his virtual girl.
Yeah, virtual girlfriend.
Well, what's interesting is it's funny okay, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But Claire is trained up. Guys, if you're not doing this yet, you might load up. If you have, for example, an existing exit plan, go through and change the business name, then take that exit plan and take a level 1 or level 2 report. Check out the new level 2 report. You're going to love it.
Is it available?
Next week? Yes. Next week, I'm going to be doing a big reveal with
Claire.
With Claire. But you can mash them up. What I'm getting at is you have an exit plan. And if you have a level 2 analysis, especially, you could do it with a level 1, but a level 2 analysis. Now, the nice thing about a level 1 analysis and Claire is that you can get a passable, she knows what the other stuff is. It's not going to be as robust as having the level 2 report, but Claire knows what's in the machine. Anyway, mash up an exit plan and tell Claire that you want her to create a strategic plan over the next 3 years. So, whatever, you're going to have to play with the prompt, but Claire will mash them together and create a single document. That's where Claire is. And that's what we will use AI to do, guys. That's what we are already using AI. What we haven't done yet is take Claire, which is generative, and then, create some, there are other models that are non-generative AI and actually put them inside Clarity. That's coming. That's one of the things I'm here in Chicago to talk about is AI in the M&A world, and what we'll be able to do. And it's funny, who was it? Someone on this call, they said, well, what can Claire do? I said, Claire can see that you're working at 9:00 at night and ask you if you'd like a pizza, right? The AI can do that. It's, easily, by the way. Now, is that relevant to delivering client wins? Yeah, maybe tangentially, but Claire is going to be able to say, hey, Mike, things like, hey, Mike, I see that you've scored. Let's use financial because it's all the way through. I see that you've scored you think you have auditable financials, but over here in the first dimension, you say you have a hard time extracting useful information. What up? And et cetera, et cetera. So I'm excited. I'll stop.
It sounds very, George, what you're describing. Remember that book, 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah. Hal.
Remember Hal? It sounds like Hal. Talking to the.
What are you doing, Mike?
What are you doing?
Mike, you're writing a client report.
George.
Put down the wine. Yes, Teresa.
I'm sorry. That's
Please.
a good point. And if we're not supposed to be using other AI so that we get the benefit and the synergy of all of us sticking with Claire, I was using Claude. I'm putting a lot of it into Claude. Now
Claude is great.
Okay, I'm just questioning because I don't know the safety net on that. So we're not linking anything if we're in Claude AI, we're protected, right?
You know, I've done some research on that, and my understanding is, and please do your own research. This is not legal advice, but my understanding is that Claude is not going to suddenly take Teresa's IP and feed it to the world. Now, Google doesn't do that either, but you know that Google's looking at it and it is informing some stuff. But I'm totally use Claude. You should use several models, guys, by the way.
Well, I like just the combination. If we're all putting it into Claire like
100%.
this, we're
Who
going
was
to get
Claude,
this,
by the way,
we're going to
George?
raise everybody up.
Claude is
Claude-
a general tool where Claire is a growth drive tool.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, Claude is a
And
generative
George, I would just say,
Anthropic.
you know, I'm not concerned that any of the AI tools are going to serve up what Eric types in, but I'm training a tool and it's getting smarter with the things I'm training for it. Then the same way you're training Claire, if I'm training it and it gets smarter and Mike goes in, then Mike gets the benefit of what I
That's what I'm
train.
saying.
That's why I'd rather be in a closed
Close end.
yeah.
Closed
And
end.
only the world does not have access to Claire. Only growth drivers have access to Claire.
Yeah.
So, and
George.
she is getting smarter fast, man. It is cool. I know several of you are using her.
I'm going to try it. Thank you.
And that's in ChatGPT, isn't it, George?
Yes, it's a Chat GPT and
Which
yeah.
model is it using?
4.0.
Or
And you can, by the way, you can switch inside Claire.
okay.
So,
So this is in circle again, George. I apologize for being.
Yeah. no
again,
problem, Mike. No,
It's in circle?
so go into circle, go into the search bar, upper
Hey,
right.
George, why don't you share your screen and why don't you show all of us how to get there?
I'm a technological.
In fact, that I'm going to copy this control copy. All right. And I'm going to make sure I'm not opening up someone else's information. Okay, cool. Share my screen. Guys, I'm in this hotel in Chicago off a map and then I looked at the reviews. My room is the size of a catamaran cabin. It's actually pretty cool, but I have it blocked out because the wall is like right over my shoulder. Allow. Here we go. Okay, can you see keep calm and Klatsch on?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. So now I've got to get rid of all of your beautiful faces. There we go. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to type Claire. There's a lot of CEO facing stuff happening, by the way, guys, which is a different topic. But okay, here's Claire. I'm going to click on this. So you saw I just clicked on the post that it brought up. This is your private use. So here we go. I click on it. I need to change that link name because it says Growth Drive GPT. Claire, your Growth Drive.
Oh, there she is.
I'm sorry?
There she is.
There she is. Yes, that is an AI generated avatar. I use this account.
You get many accounts there, George.
I do. Luckily, I have on your iPhone, you can set it up so that all of your emails are listed in one place. Hi, Claire. Good morning. So let's see what she says.
Oh, there you go.
You know what? Clean up this prompt. Make it better. You know what's funny is I find myself saying please and thank you. Very polite to my robot. Okay.
Cleaner.
So there she goes. She's cleaned up the prompt. This version is stronger. That's great. I didn't know why, but you know, it helps train the human. Would you like me to break down how a business?
Maps. Yes.
Yes. She's very helpful. Well, she's great, guys. I'm not go in and hammer on her. And please, and I need to go back and put this in the post. Rather than correct things, copying and then correcting things outside, tell Claire, hey, correct, and I just type correction : and you know, because it'll hallucinate, it'll make mistakes. You got to proofread this stuff. Okay, dimension. Here we go.
Employment agreements, compliance. There you go. See, productive and loyal people. There you got the employment agreements, compliance audits, equity
Awesome.
incentive structures.
And I would say on SOPs, contract reviews, those contracts go in a drawer. They're stale. Said the guy who was general counsel for a couple of companies. Those contracts will not reflect what's happening at all. And that
Sales
audit
agreements.
is good.
That's beautiful. I can see it right there. There's all the potential work.
Yeah.
Just for these 24. Yeah. Got it.
And then let's
Quick
add
question.
George, as an aside, how many attorneys write contracts and legal agreements in good Lego form so that you can plug in new pieces and take out pieces?
That's how we do it behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
when you have a good contracts attorney, not only do they have the basis of the
Yeah.
the landmines, but they've done the work. They're like, you know what, I remember I did X, Y, and Z. And with AI, it's probably going to get even better.
Yeah.
Teresa, please.
I was just asking, do you need to give us a subscription or access like you,
Nope,
each person, or it should work automatically?
You should be able to, Teresa, you can see it's in the premium resources
Okay.
that are only available to subscribers. So I
Okay.
think everyone on this call,
This is
other than Jeff,
this is great. I mean, this basically maps out all the potential work opportunities throughout the 24 growth objectives for
Yeah.
a law firm. I could do the
and this
same.
is just scratching the surface, right? So this you could turn into a quick briefing, like, hey guys, here's how you're relevant to what I do, what I will discover every day. And here we go. I asked it I'm like, hey, you didn't talk about SOPs, so here she is talking about SOPs. So
And I could do the same thing, George, for like this accounting firm I'm going to be speaking to in about
yes.
10 days.
Heck
Yeah,
yes.
I could ask.
And I know I owe you a conversation, Mike.
I can use Claire to articulate like what is it? Of course, everyone dials into that WIFM station, right? What's in it for me? So
100%.
why should I do this work? Why should I work with you on this? What's in it for me? Well, here's all the ancillary work that.
And Mike, I have some specific articles that are blog articles. So go and search, and you can tell, Perplexity to find me articles by George Sandmann that talk about accounting firms. And it'll pull them up.
Where do I get that?
Perplexity.
Perplexity.
Yeah, Perplexity or whatever other search. Sorry, it's my knee-jerk search. I bet Google can do it as well.
Yeah. The nice thing about Perplexity is when you do it, it gives you all the references, Mike.
And
So
it
when
digests
it tells you
like-
where it found things, not just giving you the information.
Let's do this. Perplexity. Now let's just do it live since we're recording this. Find me, please. Find all of all of the articles written by
George Sandmann. George comma said. About accounting firms. Hey, so George, what is this AMA you reference in one of your things you sent me? You said something about AMA's reporting. Who is AMA?
Oh, sorry, that's the Ask Me Anything. I'm sorry, I used your shorthand. It's Ask Me Anything. I do normally do those. I've started doing those on Wednesday. Actually, you've been on Wednesday afternoon.
No, this is something different. This is something where you sent me. Hold on, I'm trying to get the document in front of me. Oh, I got it. I thought that was the American Marketing Association or something. I didn't know what the hell it was. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. So you can see that it has, and here are the links. So,
You should make it AGA, George,
That's
and then no
cool.
one will get confirmed.
Yeah.
Confused.
maybe we will. Maybe
Aga.
I'll ask Catherine to make that happen. Aga, the Aga card.
Yaga.
So look at this. There's a ton of stuff here, Mike. And now
that's
what you
can you go down, George? Go down to that table, George.
I'm going down. Yep, I'm just copying the link.
Copy that link and send it to
Right
me.
there, the citations on the right-hand side, Mike, you see 1, 2, 3. That tells you where he actually, that will tell you, like if I did a search for some market research, and it told me which websites it pulled it from.
Yeah.
This is easy because it's George's websites that they're coming off of. But if you're searching on a bunch of stuff on some generic thing, it'll tell you where it found the information so you can tell if it's reliable or not.
Yeah, and I just put it in our chat. So Perplexity is great. It's become my go-to. This is the one Sydney calls Plexi. Are you're gonna go ask your girlfriend? I'm like, yeah. And by the way, totally unrelated, but if you open your fridge and you have a leg of lamb, 4 carrots, and a stale bottle of red, you put that into Perplexity, and she is going to come and say, and I have the other usual stuff you'd find in a kitchen. She's going to give you a recipe fast, and the recipes are they're great. Anyway,
Nice.
she even built me a cocktail. I had lemons, not limes, and I'm like, okay, so what cocktail can I make? And I gave her a couple of pointers, and anyway, and the cocktail was quite nice. Okay, so Perplexity, also, generative AI. So
Did
that's
the lamb become pizza? I need to know.
No, the
People
lamb
need to know.
but yeah. Yeah. So Claire is our first, as a community, is our first foray into AI, and she's already smart as a whip. The more you use her, the more you correct her. Please be 100% positive in your correction. But every once in a while she stopped doing it. I haven't experienced this recently, but she would reinvent the 3 dimensions of growth, and I'd have to say no. Go redo your homework. So okay, fun topic.
Oh gosh.
Fun topic. Guys,
Hey, George, another use case for Perplexity, just for humor. So I had an MRI of my shoulder last week, and my surgeon was delinquent and responding to the results. So I just put the results in Perplexity and said, "Tell me, so what?" And it did an excellent job.
it did do an excellent job. That's fantastic.
It's scary stuff, this AI stuff. I know in the tax world too, they have Tax GPT, which is very powerful.
With the 94,000 page codes, regs,
No,
decisions,
but
opinions,
it's more than just the codes and regs. It's the court cases. It's all
court cases, exactly, decisions.
it's voluminous, and you ask it a question, and before you know it, and then you can ask them to actually write up a memo.
Yeah.
And the sources are good. There was one guy that I talked to that came up with something that was tax related, but he was pulling everything from everywhere. And I told him, well, some of that stuff's not reliable, right? And why would I? Some of the stuff I know, when I read it, I knew it was not correct. It was pulling articles from the internet. But this tax GPT is pulling it from primary sources. It's not. It's really.
And Mike, that's where the Perplexity thing with all the references is really nice, because you know what it's pulling from. So you can say, I don't want 3 in there. I don't want 6 in there. Like, do it again without those 2 references.
Yeah, got it. Good stuff. Wow, this has been helpful.
Yeah. By the way, I spoke with Carl Cox this morning, and I'm going to be going down to. He's hosting a business owner conference in Phoenix in November, and it's interesting how much these bigger CEO facing events and he's running it as his own, completely his own design CEO workshop, 40 CEOs, and we're going to spend the first day talking about working on it's going to be really cool, on value growth, and the second day we're going to talk about value harvesting, and at the end he's preparing these thick binder. I'm excited that people will be able to fill. They will walk out of the room with a strategic plan. It's going to be super cool. I bring that up because he also told me that he is now and he's booked his rooms to come to beautiful Charleston, South Carolina in October. And,
Nice.
and a lot of you guys are signing up. Thank you, registering.
Well,
And
George,
yes,
I have a question about that because I have a guy that's very interested, and he looked at your website about it, but he didn't see a specific detailed agenda. Is that
okay? Yeah, yes, Catherine's putting that in right now. And if you go and look at the sneak peek article, the agenda will strongly reflect the sneak peek article. I think I put out last week. I think that was last week.
Yeah.
So 100%. I will ask Catherine to publish that today.
Yeah, because he was interested in, he said, I kind of like the general concept, but I'd like to see what the detailed things are. And yeah, so this guy's pretty interesting. He's a CPA. He's got
awesome
more C's after his name than anyone I've ever met. Really smart guy. Actually, he's really unique in the fact that he's run marathons on each of the 7 continents of the world.
Wow. That's interesting. You know what? A guy I met a gentleman I met out in San Diego is going to run. He's running the Antarctic Marathon. I'm like, my Lord.
This guy's like
having run a marathon. It's painful enough.
He's a Renaissance man. He flies airplanes. He's just
very cool.
He's a dynamite kind of guy. But
well, if he has any questions, Mike,
all right.
dump them in my lap, and we'll get that agenda published. Thank you very much. By the way, Mike, that I love that. Last year we as a community said, hey, this was fantastic. This event was great, and so that, which is all you're doing. And we want to do more of this, less of that. And we want to have twice as many people next year. Great. So I've signed on the line for twice as many people, and doing like exactly what Mike is saying. Hey, man, you might be interested in coming to this gig in Charleston. It is not a moneymaker for us, guys. It is not a moneymaker. So, but what it is when you bring people to the event, you're helping its success. There's also a 200. So Mike, if he signs up, make sure that you email Catherine, because you will have earned a $250 credit applicable towards training.
I thought it was a Starbucks. It wasn't a Starbucks card.
The Starbucks was for who had links to their between.
Mike, the problem with the Starbucks card is $250 only gets you 4 cups of coffee.
True.
No, 5.
I know.
Oh, is it 5 now? Okay. 5, 4, get 1 free.
Would it be helpful to have like a lightning tour of what we just released in this latest software release?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to put you down as undecided, Eric. Thank you, sir. Okay. Let's see.
What do you mean by lightning?
I mean, I'm going to move through it fast. Log out.
Okay.
And log in as, okay, we're going to my demo account. So.
Hey, George, one
Yes.
of your competitors releases software release notes, and only to their members.
Okay. Yeah. It's heard and absolutely correct. So let's see here. Okay. I am sharing my screen, and you should be able to get, okay, Google, get out of, sorry. I don't know why it brings up Zoom workspace when you, all right. So what report are we going to go into? We are going to go into, let's start here with a lead generator. I'm going to click on this. The first thing you're going to notice is we have a new lead generator now, has a new graphic at the top. And this is a prediction of value for a representative business. Remember, in lead generator, they're completing the 24 questions and saying, I want to grow, why am I here? They're starting to voice their intent. And that's all they fill out. So we don't have any revenue information, because we found historically that when you ask people to put their revenues in and they don't really know you, they're just online, that's where they abandon they'll just walk away. By the way, if they walk away, you will still see a partially completed. You'll still see their answers. So now So we have this new graphic for a representative business with about $1 million of EBITDA. And we walked, we talked through what this means. It's a very high level. So this is an update to lead generator. Let's go back. Teresa, you are, there we go. My back button. Okay, so I'm just going to pull up Ridge and we'll just do a lightning round through that. Okay, faces up there. Thank you. We'll start with clarity level 1. This all stays, this stays the same. When you go to the range of value report, you'll see that we've taken that same graphic, but applied it to this business. So we're starting the range of value conversation with here's your transferable value, here's the value of the asset you've created, and if we work together and get your strategic capacity to 85, here's the impact it will have on the total value of your business. Okay, so, and we put in some reasonable growth, et cetera, things that, this is reasonable though. Unlike others, unlike competitors, this is a reasonable calculation. So
Hey, George, if you don't want questions, just say so. But what's the difference between those two bottom bars?
These two bottom bars?
Yeah.
That's the cap, right?
The very bottom is at your capacity score right now. The middle one is at your capacity.
Oh.
If your strategic capacity was 85.
Today.
Yep.
And what's the top one? That's 5 years out, assuming some growth assumptions, right?
Yep. So,
Okay.
yeah. So that's command 0. So there's a little update to the range of values chart. You can still have this conversation. Now, Equity Planner got a bit of a facelift. Nothing here has changed, but
Right.
we've moved a tab from simulator into this conversation, right? Because jumping to simulator in the middle of this conversation. So if I click on this, now we can start running some what ifs. Now imagine you're still in the discovery phase with your client. Like here's the power of strategic capacity. Here's what we're talking about. The impact you'll have. Make yourselves very familiar with this tool because it's a great way to run. We're going to so here, Madam CEO, if we increase your strategic capacity by 10% a year, it is limited at 10%. You cannot put in something higher than 10% because it would be hooey. If that becomes a problem, you guys will tell me, and we'll change it. But this out of the gate, this is our first. And growth, we're not going to, anybody who tells you let's just say we're going to grow at 10%. What is that? Now, this is how it plays out down here. This is the Eric Owen chart that I misinterpreted. So this is not what Eric asked for, but this is what Eric inspired. But you can see we're taking your transferable value. We're increasing your EBITDA and the value of your business. And here's the compound impact on value as a percentage, et cetera. So that's one change. Protect value, no changes. Level 1 report. We cleaned up some font sizing issues, but no real changes. Clarity level 2. This is going to make many of you happy. You'll notice that now there are written definite. It's not partly true and not really. We are defining the next, what partly true means. And the name of the game is where do you most closely identify, right? And you'll see that through the entire analysis. We have also scroll. We have also, by the way, this stuff, if you're ever wondering what does something, a lot of time was invested in creating these, and these might inform a Claire prompt, right? We are taking, whoops, I should have shown you here. Apologies. We'll just do it over here. You'll notice that we've now, even though his score is 56 and he can't monetize any of the value, in all likelihood, we've actually changed. I was being too clever by half. So now it's the trap value is what we're showing as the ROI. Okay. So that's a little change. The level 2 report is net new, guys. So these are the building blocks for growing profits and value. And new back button. Very, very exciting. So this is if we don't print on both sides, it's 59 pages. And this is the whole can of worms, everything, context, metrics. It looks like the level 1 report, but now we're pulling all of the data. So, and it's cool. You can feed that into, imagine mashing this up with an exit plan. I mean, you guys are going to come up with ways of looking at this that I hadn't even thought of. Execute guidance stays the same.
Does the
Simulator.
level 1 report, George, have a back button?
Yes. Yeah, we put the back buttons in both places.
Oh, good. Because it didn't before. Yeah.
It was taking you back out to the dashboard. I know.
Yeah.
So you're always evolving. And Eric, if there's and anyone watching this, if you ever have a frustration or an idea, as many of you on this call could attest, if it's a good idea, and fits into our dev cycle, but generally speaking, it'll see the light of day. Many of them are small changes, but you'll get an email saying, "Hey, thanks, we implemented it." Simulator, the only thing that's changed is that now it's one tab. Okay. Leadership, remember the leadership module, it generates after level 1. So if you're in these preliminary conversations when you're doing senior leadership alignment, you will have, the ideal world laid out here. Who should be accountable? Now that may not be how it works in this company, in your client's company, but. And then there's a strategic planning report, which is 70 some odd pages, which is a huge, it is an online report, again, that has everything. You can print this as well. So that's it in a nutshell.
George, would you be covering this in the summit?
In a way, yes. In a way.
All right.
So but we are going to be covering it between now and the summit in webinars, and you know how our webinars go. They'll be interactive. So you got to run to another call, Teresa.
Hey,
George, can Claire take that strategic planning report and turn that into a strategic growth plan that you could show as a sample or a model for a client when you're trying to get them to step 4 of our 6-step process?
Yes. And Claire can generate, OpenAI, right, can generate Gantt charts. So you can.
Right. We were toying with that in our last call. We didn't actually do it. We talked about doing it, but didn't actually do. I think you sent me something afterwards. But I'm curious, is there already a template for that somewhere in the Growth Drive knowledge base that would serve as a strategic growth plan?
There is. It's in your premium resources section. Okay. It's also in your C3D book.
In the workbook.
So yeah, it's in that book. It'll be in the C3D resources also. Those are links pointing at the same doc. Teresa, you asked about the 90.io collaboration. Love them. Fireflies is warning us that it's about 10. Yeah, love them. I haven't talked to them since the EPI summit. I owe them our conference. I owe them a call, but I know that there's several people in the community are working daily using 90. Great tool. Still embed. The embed is in there, and so everything that's in all of the objectives, the key results, the execute guidance, all of that is embedded in a private to this community version of 90.io. And more news to come on that as Claire learns to walk and then run.
hey, George,
Steve.
obviously I haven't been paying attention. So what's the difference between the strategic planning report and a level 2 report?
The strategic planning report is, first of all, it's not designed to be printed. It's all online. So it's designed basically to allow you to have a single place in which you can see your entire analysis, how the questions were answered. So it's pulling all of that stuff in and putting it in into a massive pillar page.
So it's sort of like the background info for the level 2 report
Yes.
plus the level.
Yeah, level 2 provides a lot of context. So level 2 report you can print and give to your client, send to your client, walk through with your client. And it has it's designed to educate a client about strategic capacity, the objectives, the key results. That level 2, Claire is killer at creating KPIs also. So if you're like, okay, well, what might give me 3 alternative KPIs? She's going to come up with some really thoughtful stuff, because she can not only see our stuff, but she can see the world. So did that answer your question, Steve?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Hey guys, 3 minutes to go. Who wants to do our second lightning round? A quick key takeaways from today.
Well, my takeaway is I discovered
Thanks,
Claire and where she lives, and how to utilize and how to work with her, I should say. So that was my real big takeaway. And there's others, but that's the thing that really
Cool.
struck. Thank you.
Yeah, Mike, to hit me up with questions if you need. Who do you like to toss it to, Mike?
I'll toss it to Tim.
Hey, thanks, Mike. I really enjoyed the tour of the renovations to the whole platform, the whole page, because I'm about to do some walkthroughs with some prospects, and it'll be good to know these extra rooms are there and what's in them. So I'll toss to Eric.
Yeah, I love the interaction. We started with a totally different conversation, but I love that Mike, you brought up the guy who's down by you, wants to come to the conference. I just love the connections that we make in this community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve.
I like the renovations as well.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, Steve.
And Jeff.
Oh, you're muted, Jeff.
Thank you. I'm loving the connections as well. Had a one-on-one with Mike. I've got one coming up with Eric, and these are fantastic. And spent time with George. But today, even though it's not a brand new concept, the whole compound impact on value, wow, that just jumps and screams. And clients don't think about that unless we make sure they truly understand what they're getting.
We're going to create. Thank you, Jeff. You just reminded me. We're going to be making a CEO-facing version of the white paper on strategic capacity. So stay tuned for that. Teresa, you're up.
It was my turn to hand over. Teresa, go ahead.
Sorry.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you. I'm going to just go back to the authentic me. What I've always seen about Growth Drive and these types of tools is if you start things right, they will exit right. So I don't deviate from what I said when I first met you.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. It's great to have you back. I'll give you a call. Awesome. I love the fact that all this CEO-facing activity, the larger, is becoming more. It seems to me that it's becoming more programmatic. That you guys are thinking about new ways of getting in front of helping CEOs. That's ultimately what you're doing, and I love to hear that. So,
George, there's a call on Thursday that you're hosting, right?
yes. Yeah, I'm my brain is stuck in Chicago right now.
That's all right.
But yes. So, all right, guys, it is hour. Time for the top of the news. Thank you very much. You have a great week. I really appreciate you being on these calls, you guys participating, and we together this helps build the knowledge base, right? So,
Thank you.
Thank you. I will tell Ed hello. We had a great dinner last night at Gene and Giorgetti's, Teresa. It was over the top. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Anything I can do to help, let me know.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by the Growth Drive Summit. Our theme this year is building a profitable advisory business. Join us in Charleston, South Carolina, October 6th, 7th, and 8th. Expand your network, learn new skills, and generally have a good time. This is a top-rated event. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you.